Hey everybody, welcome back to Curriculum Mapping with Google Workspace, and today I'm going to introduce you and walk you through creating these very nice timelines in Google Sheets using your own data in your Curriculum Mapping with Google Workspace setup. So as you can see, I've set up this timeline to sort of run the entire academic year. You have some controls over the density of information on your page, as well as how you view the timeline, whether it's in months or years. I prefer the yearly view because you kind of get a more holistic view of all of the unit planners in your curriculum. And in terms of the settings, we can see it's connected to a date range in one of our Google Sheets here, which we'll get to in a minute, and we're linking up with the start dates and end date columns, as well as a column that is going to be the sort of the title of the timeline piece. In this case, it's the unit planner title, and then I'm grouping categories into subjects, and I'm actually using the groups as a way of color coding the pieces as well. So each color represents a subject area, and you could do this with grade levels. You could make all grade 8 classes blue and all grade 7 classes red, and so it's kind of up to you how you determine what each color is for you. And the nice thing is when you click on any one of these timeline units, you can actually click on the link to open the unit planner directly. So this is kind of with the end in mind and what we're building, and everything starts with what is first listed in your Files tab. So here, if you remember, each night your files will relist, pulling in the latest file names and last updated date on, and any updates to the start and end dates of your unit planner. So all of that information will be current, and what we want to do is first query that information into a new tab to kind of prepare for our timeline. So I've done that here, and the reason I'm doing this in row 2 is that the timeline requires some very specific language in the headers. So you need to have a start date, end date, card title, card detail, and group. So it has to be, this syntax has to exist. So hence we put the formula here and start pulling our data from row 2 of our files sheet. So in this case we're pulling the start date, end date, the unit planner title, the unit planner URL, and then the subject area. And then I went ahead and added some conditional formatting rules sort of on my own to kind of color code the subject areas. So in my case, this was easier to do because there was only about 8 or 9 subject areas listed here. So I gave each of those a different color, and then that color scheme will be dynamically applied to my timeline. So once you have your data in this format, you simply go up to Insert, and then you select Timeline, and then you can configure your settings like we saw at the beginning of this video, where you map the corresponding data, and you would select which field is going to manage the color of your timeline. So now this is great, and this is fine for seeing all of your unit planners, but what if you wanted to see, for example, a specific grade levels timeline? Well, in that case, you would simply duplicate this sheet right here, because this has everything, and then modify the query slightly. So if I wanted to see only grade 10 courses, I've already pre-created this here, but notice how the query is slightly different. It contains this where F contains 10. So in this case, F being my grade level column, and I'm only pulling back the grade level units for grade 10, and then I would repeat this procedure by going Insert, Timeline, and I would build a timeline for grade 10. So it's going to want to try to predict the end of your range, but I recommend selecting it larger so you can get more in there. So now you can see I've got my name of my units here, and then it's essentially all built for me. There's only 1, 2, 3. Is that right? Yep. 1, 2, 3. So I can see the 2 English and the 1 film subject right here. And of course, I would rename this tab to sort of match what it is that it's showing. So if people wanted to explore this timeline, they knew what they were looking at, and all of the same features would exist. So I hope that gives you enough information to get started building your own timelines, and thanks for watching.